Okay, today we're going to show you the components for the Western Blotting Kit, the iWB kit. These consist of prefabricated cathode and anode pads that are assembled along with the chip that allows the transfer of the contents of the chip onto the PVDF membrane that's within the anode pad. So the kit consists of 6 of the cathode pads, 6 individual anode pads, and a solution called transfer gel that is a linear polyacrylamide that we use to facilitate transfer of the protein contents from the chip into the PVDF membrane. So now we're going to demonstrate putting 2 chips into the holder for the iWB and then assembly of the iWB for transfer of the contents of the chip onto the PVDF membrane. In order to put the chips into the frame, we'll need to straighten the chips, and we have a tool for that. The assembly proceeds by taking a chip and then straightening the handle with this tool. The chip is placed into the holder. And then bent straight back using gentle pressure with both thumbs. In order to maintain the orientation of the chip relative to the PVDF membrane, it's important to recognize the logo, the Protein Force logo that's present on the chip. And you can see that it's on the upper portion of the handle. It's a little bit small, but it's readily observed. The chip is then placed into the frame with the red dot to the right, and with gentle pressure with your thumbs, it's possible to insert the chip into the frame. I'll do that for the second chip. Again, the chip is straightened by simply pressing back gently with your 2 thumbs. Relocate the logo. Again, it goes next to the red dot. And then the gentle pressure is used to assemble the chip into the frame. At this point, we use our transfer gel, which is a linear polyacrylamide, to assure ourselves of a good contact between the membrane and the gel plugs. The transfer gel is applied by simply drawing a bead along the surface of the plugs. The frame is then flipped over and transfer gel is applied to the other side of the chips. Is this good?
Yep.
Okay, now we're ready to assemble the components of the kit. The cathode pad is removed from its pouch. You'll see that there's a blue layer of membrane in the pad. That membrane is removed from the pack. Being careful to not remove a clear membrane behind the blue membrane. So the clear membrane is shiny and should remain with the buffer pad. This is now placed on the cathode electrode, which is the shiny electrode. And a roller is used to remove any wrinkles from the buffer pad or to remove bubbles. Now the frame is placed on top of the cathode pad with the red dots again to the right hand side. And individual anode pads are now taken from their pouches, and again the blue layer is removed from the pad. After the blue layer has been removed, the pad is flipped over and placed on top of the chip. Fingers are used to gently tamp down the buffer pad so that it does not have any bubbles. At this point, the assembly is completed by placing the anode electrode on top of the buffer pads, making sure that you align the raised part of the lid onto the region of the cathode half with the two individual bars that you can see. This allows a rapid cutoff of electricity if the lid is removed at any time with power still on. In addition to placing the anode electrode on top of the pad, we now have a weight that we add to allow even distribution of the weight, allows the even transfer of proteins onto the PVDF membrane. We wait 5 minutes after the assembly has been put together before we charge up the power supply, and we'll set the timer for 5 minutes.